So when we have an increase in government purchases, that is going to increase output, which is also income. And when we have an increase in income, that's going to increase consumption, which is going to increase income, which will increase consumption, and so on and so forth. Therefore, the total increase in aggregate demand or total spending is going to be greater than that increase in government spending. So that initial increase in government spending leads to an even larger increase in consumption. And so that shift to the right of aggregate demand is even larger than just that change in government spending. And so to find the total change in real GDP, we can take the change in government spending and multiply it by our government purchases multiplier. And that government purchases multiplier is going to be equal to 1 over 1 minus B. And B, remember, is that fraction of our disposable income that we're consuming. And we call that the marginal propensity to consume. And we can abbreviate marginal propensity to consume with MPC. So 1 over 1 minus the marginal propensity to consume is our government purchases multiplier. And so every dollar that someone earns has to either be spent or saved. So if we're not spending them, then we're saving them. So whatever fraction of each dollar is being spent, 1 minus that fraction is being saved. So our marginal propensity to save is going to be 1 minus the marginal propensity to consume. So that means another way to write our government purchases multiplier is 1 over the marginal propensity to save. So we have a similar multiplier effect with taxes and transfers. So a decrease in taxes or an increase in transfers those both increase disposable income, which increases consumption and increases income, which increases consumption, which once again increases income, which increases consumption, and so on and so forth. Therefore, any change in net taxes is going to lead to a larger change in output. So to find that total change in real GDP from a change in net taxes, we can take the change in net taxes and multiply it by the tax multiplier. And the tax multiplier is going to be smaller than the government purchases multiplier because we don't start with that direct increase in purchases. We start with an increase in taxes, which decreases our disposable income, and only some fraction of that disposable income is spent. So that tax multiplier is equal to negative MPC, so the negative marginal propensity to consume, divided by 1 minus the marginal propensity to consume. And our tax multiplier is negative because an increase in taxes is going to decrease real GDP and vice versa. So output and taxes have an inverse relationship. And then one other way that we can write our tax multiplier is negative the marginal propensity to consume divided by the marginal propensity to save. Okay, so let's work through an example. If a $30 billion decrease in government purchases leads to a $120 billion decrease in equilibrium real GDP, holding the price level constant, what is the marginal propensity to consume, assuming no taxes or international trade? So pause the video and try to find the marginal propensity to consume based on the information that you're given. Then restart the video and we'll go through it. Okay, so remember, the change in government purchases multiplied by 1 over 1 minus the marginal propensity to consume is equal to the change in output. So we have a $30 billion decrease in government purchases, so negative 30, times 1 over 1 minus the MPC. Remember, the MPC is what we're trying to find. And that's going to equal negative 120, since that $30 billion decrease in government purchases leads to a $120 billion decrease in real GDP. So now we can divide each side by negative 30. And we get 1 over 1 minus the MPC is equal to 4. And so we can multiply each side by 1 minus the MPC. So we get 1 is equal to 4 minus 4 times the marginal propensity to consume. And we can add 4 MPC and subtract 1. So we get 4 MPC equals 3, or the marginal propensity to consume is equal to 3 over 4. So for every dollar that people get, they're saving 25 cents and spending 75 cents. So our marginal propensity to consume is 3/4.